Oh my God, Matt, is this the best Disney Star Wars ever?
Might be. It might be. I needed to talk about it. I watched it and was just like, can we record? Can we do something?
Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a special Ahsoka edition of GDL2. My name is Jay, and with me, as usual, on a Star Wars stream is my good friend Matt. Matt, how are you doing tonight?
Glad to join you. Glad we could talk about this. We didn't talk about the one before this, which was just as cool.
Yes.
I mean, it was just like, I feel like we're on that roller coaster where it just keeps stacking up.
Well, there's this thing with Filoni. He likes to take his time.
He does. He likes to set the table.
He's a table setter.
He's a storyteller.
But I gotta say, there was a set like, oh, where's this going? But I was like, just give him a minute.
Yeah.
And the thing was, last week's episode was great, right? It had real stakes, it had real drama, it had real
lightsaber duels left and right,
and good lightsaber duels, like just the
Mandalorian versus the lightsaber duel, like
so you had that, but then it ended with the hey snips, which I think everybody wanted that, right?
Right. Didn't I wanted to see Hayden Christensen as Anakin, but
yes,
on my wish list of Ahsoka, I've just been like, don't get your hopes up, kid. There's not going to be a Kanan. There's not going to be an Anakin. There's not going to be a, maybe we'll get this. Maybe we'll get World Between Worlds at the end of this series. That's what I was thinking. Like, we're not going to get there. But no, we're in the middle of the season and it's delivering. And again, like a stair step. Like, I felt like the first two episodes, it was just like, welcome to this. It was an introduction to everyone that didn't know this character. But this last episode, it was like, here's Ahsoka.
Yes.
Like all my criticisms about Ahsoka just shed away in this one moment where it's like we really start to get these back.
Yep.
The backstories start building and paying off for I hope for viewers that have never been introduced to her, that they can at least be like, oh, so this is her trauma.
Yes, exactly. And that's the beauty of this whole sequence, right? And you can see where Anakin is reconnecting with her through this kind of World Between Worlds portal. And he's like, clearly she's carrying the guilt of and she's been carrying this guilt of the Clone Wars and her complicit in Anakin's, turn to the dark side. And she's been carrying it since she made the realization it was Anakin as Darth Vader.
Right.
When she felt it. And then when she confronted him at the end of season 2 of Rebels, and really she, quote unquote, dies there.
Yeah.
And then it's not until the end of season 4 when Ezra goes to the World Between Worlds that he takes her out of that and saves her. And she goes straight from that to fending off Palpatine. And then just going right back out. And really, she hasn't processed we at least on screen.
Right.
The next time we see her is at the end of Rebels. We don't know. It's kind of after the fall of the Empire. And then we see her in Mandalorian season 2. So really, she's been carrying that trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're seeing that trauma play across her life in these moments. And what a great vehicle to give us a flashback, right? Like a much better vehicle than, let's say, a Bacta tank. Just saying. Book of Boba
needs a
Fett.
nice soak in the Bacta.
I mean, we don't get to see Ahsoka walking around in her robe. But what about that cool outfit that she's wearing? Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, Ahsoka the White,
and you could see the weight had lifted off her shoulders. She was so much more
jokes.
Yes,
yeah. all of those criticisms about like her and maybe like being distant or like jaded or this isn't the Snips we know. And as we see her going into the whale's mouth
with Huyang.
Yeah, Huyang. Yeah, that part. Like just
yes.
You know, it was a lighter, airier Ahsoka, and it was like, okay, now I've been on this journey with you.
Yes.
You know, and we can gush about the Ahsoka aspects, but I also want to, we've been very critical about Hera. Hera in this episode, I get to see her as a mom.
Yes.
That part where she's talking to Jacen and I'm sorry, the X-Wing pilot, Mr. Kim.
Carson Teva.
Thank you. When Carson is talking to Hera, and we've all been there as a parent, it's just like, whoa, hold on a second, I got to talk to my kid here.
Yes.
Like have we all been there, like as a dad?
But okay, we're like just we're just going straight into it. But I do want to at least just mention one of my favorite Carson Teva moments, because he's been in every like TV show. Still no action figure. Hashtag where's our Carson Teva action figure? But I think we have this big confirmation, which we all knew, that Jacen is Hera and Kanan's kid, right?
Right.
But Huyang almost says it like offhand, like, "Oh, well, his dad was a Jedi, so he's kind of sensitive." And then Carson Taylor's like, "Whatever. All right, let's just go." It's so great. Let's say hello to the chat. We got a lot of people here tonight. Okay. We got Nick Dillinger, Studio Henge, Dora Laxian is here. Toy Geekosaurus, Nelson A, Brian Carr, Mutagen Ooze in the house. Mr. Michael, Matt Bush is here. Wages of Cine, Leonard Pieton, Dartherian in the house. 'Twas cool to see Uncyborg Vader with Ahsoka. Matt Bush, I'll do him again. Justin is here. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody. Andy Silva, Slave to Leia is here. And Josh Brown and Riley Bob. Give Filoni all the Star Wars. I think they have.
Not enough.
Craig Blankenship is here. Good to see you, Craig. Boo Cat in the house. Whoo, show talking. Make Mine Marvel. M0 Brad Brooks is also here. Okay, so what do you want to dig into first from this gorgeous, nearly hour-long milieu of Star Wars greatness?
First, to answer Craig's comment, is this the first time they had non-CGI clone troopers? Yes.
Yes, and it hit for real. Not just seeing Rex there, but just like it felt so much more tactile.
Yeah, and her holding the hand.
Yes.
And a really great bookend with these, like the first battle and the last battle, right? Like her acknowledging that moment where like, "Oh, this is one of my first missions with you." It's not the first movie one. It's not that interesting.
Was it like Geonosis 2? The second battle there or something?
I think it was on Ryloth, because we see the Twi'leks.
Yes, the Twi'leks, yes.
And I saw somewhere, and mind you, I haven't watched this until tonight.
I've seen it 2 times all the way through, and I just rewatched the Anakin Ahsoka stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to watch it a second time before I could record tonight, but no, I just watched it tonight with my kids, and just amazed. We were all just like, even my wife, who's the casual Star Wars fan. I mean, there's characters that, she fell in love with Rebels. So even my wife, as a non-Star Wars acolyte, we were both conferring on Hera. She was one of the, like, out of the gate, she was like, that doesn't feel like Hera. But after tonight, and I'm telling you, that parent moment sells me on it. I'm like, okay, this is the Hera that I see that heart coming through. And
but I also love like the Huyang thing when she's basically explaining to him like, "Oh, I went against orders, yada yada yada." He's like, that's why people like you. You care, and it was that was a really cool moment between the two of them.
Such a great voice, and the way they did his eyes too.
Yes.
When he's actually sad. He's like,
yes.
oh, they never listen. Like,
Yeah.
I told them to stay together.
Yeah. And then even him talking about Anakin is like, he was intense.
When he said that, it was just like, yes, that's right. That's exactly the word to describe.
Yes.
Anakin.
And I loved it. But my favorite Hu-Yang moment is when like Ahsoka's like, I don't know. We're just gonna ride with this. We'll see what happens. And then he just does like a deadpan. What? It's just a robot head turn, but it was just so good. Whoever the puppeteers were or whatever, they just nailed that. Fuck.
And the eyes, the way they do those eyes, it says so much. I love how his characters come to life.
Can I just say, I don't know if I didn't catch this the first time when Carson Table was like, Senator Organa is, giving us as much time as I was like, I didn't catch it, and then I caught it the second time. I was like, oh, I didn't even track that.
It just was kind of like in the background.
It's very offhand. And Colleen was like, wasn't she a general? I was like, well, I guess, yeah, she would have gone. It would make sense that she went back to the Senate to
help the New Republic form. And I think from what the books and the what we can fill in the cracks between here and Force Awakens is the idea that she's part of this New Republic, but she has her falling out because, well, she's got some PTSD. She's got some serious trauma. Her whole planet was destroyed. So she's not going to give up on the military thing. And that's exactly, we see her as a military holdout, as the resistance, a fraction off, or a faction off of the New Republic. So
because clearly there's this, right? And you've read the in-between books, so you know better than
Bloodlines.
But isn't there almost like this kind of pacifism stance of the New Republic? And isn't Leia like, no, there's this thing forming. We need to actually have a military thing, or this Republic ain't going to stand.
Yeah, it's almost like they self-governed themselves to say, hey, after the war, that's it. No more weapons, or something. So, but yes, I love the name drop of Organa, and knowing that she's out there. It kind of makes you feel like she's alive still.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely,
which is sweet. So,
I love that. Some more Hu-Yang love. Jason, can you build a lightsaber? Yes. Can you teach me? No.
All of those moments were perfect with him and coming back to Jacen for a moment, and much love on this kid and his acting chops. Hiding behind Chopper.
Yes.
That was such a kid thing. Like, who doesn't want to have a droid of their own?
I know.
And when they leave Chopper, when she flies off and leaves Chopper and Jacen behind, it's like, oh, Chopper is a watchdog. Like he is not going to let anything happen to that.
Chopper will murder you. So.
50,000 K and count, or 50K and counting, basically his death count. So, yes, good stuff.
I thought Jacen was great. I really, and I just love how they kind of showed him being force sensitive, and I love the way the waves crashing have the sound of the lightsabers and him.
That was a really subtle way of plot, of moving the plot forward in the drama, of like, how are they going to get to her? Where is she? And yet including him in, again, Filoni's writing this not just for us Freakazoid fans out here that have gone through the whole diet, but for the casual, like, hey, I'm just new to this.
Yeah.
What is this world between worlds? What is this thing that this kid can sense, or who is this kid, and how is he special?
Yep.
So, and that hug, sorry, not to just Jacen love right now, but that hug that he gives Ahsoka there.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
Well, and there's clearly he's force sensitive, and she's like, oh, you heard that? Like, you heard what was happening? And that was just such a cool moment. And we don't know where this thing is going to go, but I hope, and even, I was like, we're not going to take him to Luke's, dojo, Mojo Dojo Casa house, because we know how that turns out, but maybe like Ahsoka can have her own faction that survives past that. All right. We have a special guest joining us tonight, all the way from the other side of are downstairs here, is Mrs. Geek Dad wife herself, Colleen.
Hello.
Hi, Colleen. I haven't seen Colleen forever.
I know.
It feels like. I mean, I podcast with Jay. I feel like I moonlight with Jay, but Colleen is.
But so Colleen was like so enraptured with this episode. Like, can I come on? Can I play? I was like, sure, absolutely, come on.
Yeah, and I'm actually almost done with screen memes.
You're making screen memes?
Okay. I am. So I was doing that. I was like, so I just finished doing a different podcast, and I was like, Shandy, just keep talking for like 5 more minutes. I'm almost done with what I'm working on.
But anyway, Colleen, we're just talking about Jacen and how we really, it's tough. Kid actors is always a hit or miss thing, but I think he's doing a great job, and I think he's coming across really well in the show.
Well, yeah, and they're doing the #1 rule of child actors, which is don't give them a lot to do. Small doses, they'll look extra talented. No, yeah. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to listen to what you fine. The smart people have to say.
Stop it. Don't. Yeah. We're not smart at all. Get out of here.
And honestly, like, I mean, I feel like there is this aspect of the show. I keep coming back to this because I feel like I'm a lot more judgy of those things of like, oh, this character isn't quite this, but you almost have to kind of just be like, this is its own show. It has its own actors. It has its own kind of, nexus. And so to draw in those casual Star Wars fans, I'm not saying Colleen is one.
No,
but
she ain't cash.
Yeah,
you guys were talking about all the Thrawn books on the last episode of Owen and Beru's barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I realized, I was like, I probably might not be as qualified to talk about.
No, here's the thing.
I've never read them.
Matt, but those books got decanonized anyway, so it's not like that.
I've read the original Heir to the Empire trilogy, but the newer ones that came out more recently, I haven't read those. My son has. He's got more knowledge on that stuff than I do. So it is kind of like a next generation. This thing just kind of has legs of its own. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
BT Dubs.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Matt has his own Star Wars podcast called Owen and Beru's Barbecue. And kind of this season, we've been doing you've been coming on my show one week, and then you're doing your show the other week. So it kind of fills in the gaps.
We're kind of bicycling back and forth like that. So.
But I think Jacen is incredible. Hu Yang is incredible. But do we need to see, I don't know, does Jacen need to do anything beyond just be a kid this season? Like, or is this maybe the movie, or is this 20 years from now he is a Jedi kind of thing? Like what does the future hold for him?
Yeah, that's a good question. I hadn't thought about him like surviving or being beyond this, where we could see even an older Jacen.
Mm-hmm.
I think seeing that moment between, and who knows if we would actually get it this season. I have no idea where the show's going. It completely surprised me with this episode, and they did it in such a great way. I think that's why fans are responding to it. But to think of a moment where maybe Ezra and Jacen meet each other, even.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that? It's like Ezra was trained by his dad.
Yeah.
Like
it's gonna be so cool.
If we get that, like, just
just that level.
Don't be some crying.
To speak of that, like, legacy, I mean, that is mentioned between Anakin and Ahsoka in this episode.
Yes.
Like, you're part of a legacy, like that connection, and so it does feel like it's carving this new chapter, and an unwritten one.
That is so exciting. I love that. Again, I love that it's just not a little cameo. It's not just a little, hey, there they are. It's like, no, like, Hera is integral to the story. Jacen is there. He's integral to the story. And Ahsoka's journey, and it's a real journey for her. It's not just she's there and it's just set pieces and it just moves along and then there's an end. Like,
you're comparing that to Mandalorian?
Yes, exactly. Where it's just like, okay, let's put him there and let's put him here and then put him there and then all right, we're done. Like, it's legitimately resolving stuff that Ahsoka's been carrying for the entirety of her story. And that's what I love about the World Between Worlds. But I want to save the whole World Between Worlds thing as like the last thing. Okay. But let's talk about the New Republic and why it sucks. Matt, why?
Well, how much time do you have?
Why is it awful?
Bureaucracy is bad.
Bureaucracy is bad.
End.
And scene.
Don't know what else to say.
But it's just like, come on, man. Mothra's like, my hands are tied. I really tried. But
we're gonna have to take away your. I almost wanted Hera to leave and go with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But I felt like, oh no, there's more to this New Republic story, and Hera staying back. We clearly we haven't seen the end of it. But maybe also this New Republic being so weak.
Yes.
Weak sauce. Or let's just say butter. Brawn, hot knife.
Yeah,
is just going to cut through that.
He's gonna wreck this New Republic.
I mean, he's going to
wreck it.
It's like a house of cards, and he's just going to win.
So Brad Brooks, I don't know if he's still watching, gave me an extra set of his the original Thrawn trilogy. And
I want to read those. I know they're there. So somebody watching this sent those because I do want to read them.
Brad Brooks, yeah, he's right there. There's Brad Brooks. See, yeah.
Oh, Brad Brooks.
Meet the New Republic.
After they were talking about it on Matt's podcast, I was like, well damn, we have those.
Well, not
books.
the new ones. It's the original one. So Zach and I have been reading it.
Yeah,
and
I knew that.
The first book, The Heir to Empire, does so well is it just like it opens up to how like brilliant Thrawn is and just like how in control and like 10 steps ahead he is. And I think Rebels did a really good job of that as well. But just seeing how like not up to task the New Republic is, like the fact that they're so I don't know, just more worried about what their own people are doing and not the remnant of the Empire. It's just like,
right,
you guys are toast. You're toast.
I think one of the great things about Thrawn, and we haven't seen him in this series yet, and I'm sure that they will set this up, but his superpower is his brain.
Yeah.
I mean, after you lose Vader from the series, essentially post Return of the Jedi, like who are they going to do battle with? Like you have to have a kryptonite to beat Superman, Luke Skywalker, and you have to be like 12 steps ahead of him, and I think that's really what we're drawn to is his, military chess prowess, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's that brilliant strategic mind, and he'll even take a loss if it means he's gained knowledge on something that he can use in future battles or whatever. And that's what's brilliant about him. Dora Laxton, you make 100% a good point. Don't forget too that they're hidden Imperial remnants within the New Republic. They're going to be pulling strings. Yeah, absolutely.
Good point.
I mean, we've seen it already when they're in the shipping yard in Corellia. Just like, long live the Empire or whatever. It's just like, damn, like, come on. But
that's a great point because it's like these little breadcrumbs in this story. He had already set up the breadcrumbs of the Pergil, and it's like, and we speculated like, how are they going to get there now that they've launched? One thing that we theorized, like they'll use the Pergil. Did it go exactly the way we thought? No, but cool. Like,
but it was cool.
Yeah, like even though I was like suspecting that, I loved how they did it. It delivered.
Yep.
It didn't. I don't know.
Yeah. Darth Arian says, well, it's kind of the same in the old EU too. The New Republic tended to sabotage itself as much as fighting off the Imperial remnants. And Mr. Michael Mr. Michael T. Republic's just sucking throughout the eras reinforces how crucial these bands of rebels are, starting with Luke, Han, Chewie, Leia, and now Ahsoka, Hu Yang, Sabine, Chopper, Jacen, and Hera. Well, it's one of my favorite lines from Hamilton. Winning is easy, governing's harder, right? And it's true. Like winning a war is easier because there's like an end. We have accomplished the thing. We're good. but actually governing a people, as history has proven to us time and time again.
Yeah, because people suck.
Yeah, and that's it. Like just people in general.
Alert.
You get a group of people together, and they kind of suck. So
they won't even let you keep them safe when there's a deadly pandemic outside.
Right. But and so
it's amazing we even invented science, people. Okay, because there's always going to be the person that's just like, you can't do that.
Yeah. And the Watcher, I love. Yeah, Filoni also likes Legends in the EU. He loves bringing non-canon to canon, and that's that's kind of feels like what he's doing here.
I always love this line from Ahsoka in Rebels, in Shadows of the Apprentice, where she says, "There's always a little truth in Legends." And it was kind of like pointing to, hey, there's Star Wars Legends stuff over here, but there's still stuff there. And I always thought that was a little nod to the fans, like, hey, don't think that all of this stuff isn't real. You could still have what you want. Yeah. So
and Dorlaxon responding to Brian Carr is just like, well, if he's so smart, why hasn't he gotten his way from the galaxy? Dorlaxon says his brilliance is mostly tactical. He can outthink any opponent, even one with Jedi prescience. Being stranded in another galaxy presents a different set of problems. And to the point of, like, they've clearly wanted to find Ezra for however many years now. And even in this instance where Ahsoka has entrusted herself to a Pergil, doesn't necessarily know if it's going to work. It's a leap of faith in that she assumes this path that the Pergil are taking is the same one. And that's why this map was created, because this is, their hyperlane path that they've created. So it is a leap of faith. Let's talk about the Pergil here. We had a bit of Pergil 2 episodes ago, or was it? Yeah, it was that.
Yeah, I think the flight one. Yeah, because they left the Pergil conveniently out of the previous one and the fourth one, but it was featured in the 3rd episode. Yeah. We saw them.
So I love so much of the post World Between Worlds Ahsoka, and Colleen, we kind of mentioned this as we started the episode.
Yeah.
The Ahsoka the White. And it's the weight has lifted off her shoulders, and she is the old Ahsoka, right? She is clearly she learned the lesson that Anakin was trying to teach her, and she is ready for what the new challenge is.
Yes, I know that we talked about this last night, but it's like she went through some really, really intense. What's the really intense therapy that people are doing now? It's not ESMR. I know but it's something with initials.
No, I know.
But it's like like extreme therapy that you go through, and it's supposed to really help you process the trauma to, have the weight come off your shoulder. And it's almost like because obviously the way that she and Anakin left things the last time she saw him as Anakin, that's enough to F anybody up.
Both the last time she saw Anakin, turn, and knowing that she wasn't there for him, and then seeing him behind the mask.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but because the last time she saw him, she didn't get closure from the subsequent times that she saw him.
Yeah.
And that's got to be just such a mind F. That it's we had so many commentary on. She's not the Ahsoka we know. Well, she's older now. She lost her spunk because she's older. Traumatic experiences change people.
She's carrying some shit, man. Take
it, right? Snips has had a tough life, but it was kind of awesome to see the rebirth of Ahsoka, where she finally got to process her trauma, face it head on in the way she needed to, and then just kind of see the load being lightened. And as a person in therapy myself, I thought that was quite wonderful. That's the break that we all hope for, right?
But I mean, and that's just agreed. When Ezra pulled Ahsoka into World Between Worlds, and loved how it was used here. Ahsoka really is Gandalf the White now, excited for her journey. But I think I was kind of mentioning it as we started the show with Matt. It's just like, if you look at her trajectory here, she was killed by Anakin or Darth Vader, presumably, but then 2 years later or 4 years later, whenever it was, when Ezra's in World Between Worlds, he actually goes back and takes her out of it. And then she has to within minutes of facing Vader, has to fend off Emperor Palpatine, and then goes back to the scene of the Sith Temple. And then like, so clearly there's just a lot that she's had on her shoulders, and even trying to have a Padawan where, you know, Anakin's just like basically schooling her this whole time, just like, you don't want a Padawan, you don't want someone to teach. It's like, it's not worth it, you know? And just like, I don't know, just to me, the whole World Between Worlds was incredible. But let's I want to have enough time talking about it. But Pergil, seeing them in all their full form, and then seeing how the Republic is really stupid, and I don't know, hopefully they probably won't even realize how special that was. But thoughts on seeing Pergil actually hyper jump and the whole thing? I thought it was beautiful and amazing. It was incredible. Such a uplifting into the
yeah. Do Pergil eat space krill? Because they have the you know, teeth for it, basically. Yeah, like I saw that, I was like, is there a space krill out there that's just making micro jumps, you know, and they just swoop in like a big, but no, like the way they made them come to life, I thought was cool. I thought it was also almost like how Narnia, it's like, well, you can't get there the same way twice. Like the last time we saw Pergil jump, they just latched on to the Star Destroyer and launched it, you know. So this was interesting that she got in the mouth, basically. And so I was still kind of even half expecting, like, come on, Pergil B, C, or D, just grab onto the ghost and take it with you. The special effects on the Pergil, though, like perfect. Like they just looked so good. They really made the jump to screen. Great. And we got to see the ghost flying over water. Like this was
the ghost. And Matt, you and we got a ghost, baby.
Oh yeah, Matt, you wanted to talk about that.
HasLab. Yes, I kept watching it. Like, okay, so just to refresh,
you do know that you can track the charts on geekdadlife.com.
Yeah, exactly. Geekdadlife.com. Yeah,
I didn't know that. I should have probably done that.
Some friend.
We got you covered.
hit refresh on that. So last time I didn't realize it was Jay that like informed me that there's tier levels, because I just was like, hey, they made this. Here's my money. Shut up. Give it to me.
Oh, it's so cute. It's okay. I didn't know shit about this until a few months ago.
And then I learned that there were tiers, and so then I was like, then I became an invested fan. I was just like,
you finally was like, you gotta get Zeb. We gotta get Zeb.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, we got Kanan. We got Kanan. I was definitely I'm trying to Howard Dean. I had my Howard Dean moment. I was like,
we're gonna go to Hampshire, and we're gonna go to
I had that moment after we got Kanan. I just was like, we're gonna Zeb.
We're gonna Zeb.
I seriously almost texted you when I
sorry,
found
this
out.
is my leftover COVID cough. I'll mute myself.
I like how she's fanning it away. Like that's gonna help.
This is again, Colleen's a pure Italian. They have to use their hands in every vocal interaction they have. You just
I have no sense of smell, so.
It took.
She lost her sense of smell, which is
it's
great.
Really weird.
It's great.
Well, I bleached the whole bathroom the other day because I was like, Jay can shower in here again. And then Jay was like, I'm dying. It smells like bleach. And I was like, I truly don't smell a thing. And I'm not messing with you. I smell zero.
Wow.
So, and inside into Colleen's life, she lived a very privileged life in which she never had to like clean anything growing up.
That's not true. I had to do things like sweep the stairs.
Oh, sure. Whatever. So anyway, so Colleen, she was like, she's cleaning the shower or whatever. But she used bleach, and I have bleach for when, you know, I'll clean the shower or whatever. And I was just like, whoa, you cut this with water, right? It's like 1 part bleach, like 10 parts water or whatever. She's like, no, I just used the bleach. And I was like, whoa.
Because it didn't smell. So here's the thing is I had to go buy more like bleach spray. and it was the regular bleach was sold out. So I got like the next level up. That's like the no blah blah blah.
No,
and
she just
I remember like
bleach.
spraying it on Monday afternoon, and I was like, "Wow, that extra 50 cents! It's great. It doesn't even smell like cleaning stuff."
I just
like did not even realize.
Like
Jay just comes into the bathroom and it's like Colleen's passed out because she's actually knocked herself out.
Thank God she didn't die. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway, yes.
There's a whole bunch of other instances all weekend where they were like, "Do you smell that?" And I was like, "No. What are you talking about?"
Let's get on task here.
Sorry. Task.
Brian Brink, he projected 21.35.7 on that, and it ended up going 21.768. So Brian Brink was on the money for his projections.
As he always is.
And we locked everything.
The stock market as well, because got some.
Matt, you're missing out if you're not doing the Brian Brink's charts, my friend.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah, clearly. So
okay. So
handing you this on
let's
silver platter.
Let's talk about the world between worlds.
Let's do it.
And let's start with Anakin. Right?
Okay.
Let's think about Anakin. Let's think about his appearance here. For me personally, as someone that felt bad for how Hayden Christensen, the rap he got, and for seeing how well, I don't know the actor, I'm sure someone in chat tell me almost immediately, portrayed or voice acted him in Clone Wars. Clearly, the Anakin that had to talk to his master and talk to the Jedi Council, talk to people that were all superior to him, versus the Anakin that is connecting with Ahsoka, is so much more human and is so much more real in terms of the emotion. And I just absolutely loved Hayden Christensen's performance here. It was everything. Like Matt, you're talking about like the fan casted dreams of what Hayden coming back and being Anakin Skywalker again. This was pitch perfect. I loved every second of it. Matt, what was your thoughts? And then we'll go to Colleen.
It delivered. I mean, I didn't expect that we would get this nuanced of an Anakin.
Yes.
And you're right. Like Attack of the Clones, like episode 2, Anakin, petulant little child, still feels like a petulant child in the third one, except it's just like, why me no Jedi Master?
Yeah.
So that's like a simplified, like generic.
Mutagen says it right here. Almost like giving him something to do other than wine was good for him.
Right. I mean, I know that there's all of these fanboys that want to rewrite 7, 8, 9. They're upset about it. They want it all to be gone. But here's the thing. Who cares about the episode movies? Okay. We have the OT. We weren't satisfied with some of the prequel, and those that believe that they're the best are kidding themselves. But the stuff that we get in between with these actors, like this performance of Ahsoka, or of Anakin and Ahsoka, or even the Clone Wars, whereas Anakin fleshes out that character in a way that we haven't had, and we had it finally on live action, where he is a deeper, more complicated person than just this whiny little brat.
Yeah.
Like plain and simple, just more complicated and nuanced. Like, and we got that. Like, I don't know what people would be upset about this performance of Anakin.
And I haven't really seen anybody complain about it. And what I love, Colleen, what's your thoughts, please?
Oh, I was just gonna say, honestly, I'm very happy for Hayden Christensen as well. I didn't even stop to like think about like whiny Brett Christensen, blah blah blah. Like, you know, I didn't have that moment.
Fault. He's holding me back.
Yes. You can't not. I mean, we've joked about this for 15 years, so. I can't look at him and not think it's all Obi-Wan's fault. But
Colleen, I think it's been 20 years, but go ahead.
That I've known you to joke about. Oh, this?
Sure, but yeah, sure, fair, okay.
A Jay and Colleen joke for like 15 years. But honestly, because he was in the Clone Wars like costume and you know, garb, and I even at one point asked you, Jay, I was like, he's so like perfectly Clone Wars Anakin. Like, is this Hayden Christensen, or is this an actor that like just looks a lot like him.
Yeah,
just giving him something to do that's not, George Lucas super basic
I
mean, by numbers plot points.
If it's not in the script, it's not on screen.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was just thinking about that like aspect of George Lucas and his. I mean, he can paint in broad strokes, but when it comes to dialogue, like,
and
that's where dialogue, right?
Well, yeah, George Lucas is great at a story, right? To your point, broad strokes, like here's the story, but he needs somebody that's actually like a screenplay person that actually builds out a true nuance dialogue and structure,
like how Kasdan helped Empire Strikes Back.
Exactly. Yep. And there's like, I think there's those kind of documentaries about the prequel series where he wanted Kasdan to come back and all these people, but they didn't have enough time or they didn't want to do it. And he's like, screw it, I'll just do it myself. It'll be fine. And clearly
what could go wrong?
Because even in Clone Wars, where it's the broad strokes George Lucas story, but Filoni and crew gave the nuance to that broad stroke story that gave it its power,
Oh, I thought that Kasdan didn't come back because there was some sort of there. No, am I wrong about that?
No, I think it was like a timeline thing. He wanted to get it. If I remember, I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It's memories that come back in my head, okay. So Anakin.
Plus, 2 thumbs up.
Well, I want to plus in some of these chats here. I started from earlier. The Watcher said this. For those who have seen Clone Wars, Filoni is dropping breadcrumbs for the Mortis arc in this show. Ahsoka's transformation to Ahsoka the White is a hint of her possibly becoming the daughter. And then Mr. Michael T, was Anakin a Force ghost or Mortis God, or was that even Anakin eye of the Force showing what he wants to see? To me, I very clearly, and I've seen this in theories and stuff, where when Anakin goes dark side, he doesn't have yellow eyes, he has red eyes like the brother. And is this has Anakin assumed the role of the brother, and now Ahsoka, now in white, is she assuming the role of the daughter? And where or is it just Anakin has reconciled both the light and the dark, and is he truly now the one because he can bounce the Force? He represents both the dark and the light together. And this is like his place now, truly the person that brought balance to the Force. But I'm curious your thoughts here on what is Anakin now, or was this truly Anakin's Force ghost in the scene? I think it is, but Matt, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, initially, just going off of the tag from last episode where we just saw that, hey, Snips, I had theories going that perhaps Anakin somehow found his way into the world between worlds, and he is the one that pulled Ahsoka out.
That's what I think too.
But I do see those Mortis aspects, but I really was kind of like, who pulled her out? Who pulled her into? Because that's how it would have worked for her in their last battle. Oh man, the brother sister aspect, if they do go there, I feel like they're also gonna have to let the viewers in on this, because only the hardcore fans know about this.
Like,
I mean, I think that in order for it to play out satisfactory on all levels, you at least need to like I don't think they're just gonna throw in something. I think it like the
do they need to though? I guess.
Do they need to? They need to let us know. They need to let the viewers know.
People that can read into it can, because like the Watcher says here, and Colin, we'll go to you next. The original father and daughter and son are dead, and Anakin was offered the father's place in Clone Wars. He's probably the father, and Vader in German means father. I can see him being in the place of one of these Mortis gods. Colleen, what's your thoughts?
Oh no, I was just gonna don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We went a different way. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we can keep going down that line of Anakin being really Anakin, because again, I thought perhaps on some side adventure he found his way into the world between worlds. Maybe there's something more to that, but he did feel more like on a spirit level, especially in those moments and we haven't mentioned it yet, but chills on those moments where we flash and it goes to Vader and it flashes
Holy
back.
moly, dude.
Like, that is some freaking good editing, right?
Good.
Like,
so good.
Just
I saw I think it was a meme or something, just like, and it showed the him coming out of the smoke, just coming in and then just flashing, and there's just like, this is a Star Wars moment that's gonna live in my head for the rest of my life. Like, it's so good.
You know that there was a lot of high fives going on in the editing room when they came up with that concept.
Yeah.
Like,
and let's do it to the beat of the crashing, noise, bringing back the crashing waves.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, they were just so good.
Yeah, that moment, and the fact that we also see several different lightsabers here. We see him fight her with his blue lightsaber before he's turned.
Yes.
And then of course we see it turn to red. And we see him fight as Darth Vader. So and then Ahsoka as well. We see that she has her original green lightsabers that she started off with. And
only one, right? Because she doesn't have the two yet.
That's true. But I love that, like, Star Wars geeks, we were like, oh, now she has the blue. This is taking, like, we can see that her outfit has changed. We know that this is towards the end, and that last battle when she's literally
Mandalore,
yeah, she's literally slashing down Mandalorians right in front of us. The first time we've seen officially Mandalorians, I mean, I know in Mandalore we've seen the horn helmet. But this is the first time we're seeing them. Oh, we lost Colleen.
I don't know what happened. Hopefully she comes back.
She's in the internet between internets.
Yeah, she's puts internet between it. Listen. You can hear her hands waving.
Clacking of her typing, going with the beat.
But no, you're right. Yeah, the we talked a little bit earlier about the live action clones was amazing.
Yeah.
And the
I mean, she was just slashing into him, like sliding and slashing.
It was cool. I mean, as someone that absolutely was head over heels for the Siege of Mandalore episodes of Clone Wars, which were like, again, up there in just favorite Star Wars of all time. It was cool to see it in live action. And the thing that I love both about the first sequence and then the second one is it kind of, in animation, you don't track how young Ahsoka is, right? And I think there's been this thing with seeing her in live action and Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett and here. It's like, God, has she just been 30 forever? But then it's like, no, she was a teenager. She was like 13 and 16 in these two. I was like, oh, damn, she was like a kid,
Yeah.
Well, when you go back, like if you watch the later seasons, but then you go back to that first season of Clone Wars, it's actually very like apparent, like, oh, she was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the trauma that sets. I mean,
absolutely.
She poses that question, like I'm trained to be a soldier. Like she's questioning what she's being trained for.
And she had that in Clone Wars, right? Like she. Like throughout all of it, it's why she left the order and why she
began to question it.
Yeah,
it's the glue that fills in all of those cracks of saying, like, no, this is her character through and through. You're just getting a slice of it here. You want to dig deeper? Go into the archives.
Sure, but you get it. But even though it's a brief moment, you get all that you need, right? Yeah. And even if you know, it's just like you're right. Like she was thrown into a war as a kid. Had to learn how to become a warrior. And that's these two sequences. Just like she's just starting out questioning, like, what am I even doing here? I failed. These people's deaths are on my, that's on me. I have to carry that. And then her at Siege of Mandalore, where she's a full-fledged warrior. And even if you watch it in Clone Wars, she's jumping out in air and like all this crazy stuff. And even when there's Execute Order 66, where she's not going to kill these clones. Like there's enough of those deaths are already there. She's not going to continue it.
That humanity that she shows. If you can even call an alien being human, but but she does. She has that Jedi compassion, we could say. And then she goes into seclusion in the book Ahsoka, in which case she's kind of hiding her identity for a very long time. But it brings that question, like she's searching for what is the point to this, to survive.
Well, and even in the previous episodes, Ahsoka's like, we don't want another war, right? And you can just see it's like the PTSD of just like, we don't want this, like, or I don't want this again,
right?
Yeah.
And the lesson from Anakin here is just like, we need to adapt. You need to adapt. What is needed of the Jedi right now, and you need to be able to adjust to that. And you carry that legacy of my master and me, and you carry that with you. And I thought it was really impactful. And we all have a mutual friend who, in a text thread, I gave him a big FU because he's like, well, I don't know, it was just scenes.
Oh, did he not like it? Of course he didn't. Did he not like it?
I actually deleted the texting thread because I don't want to get spoiled on anything. So as it popped up, I just was like, no, delete. I don't want to read any of this. Like,
so this was his
Did he
thing.
say that it was unrealistic that a lady would beat Anakin, or what
No,
was the okay?
Because he likes Ahsoka.
Yeah.
All right.
Who doesn't like Ahsoka?
This person. I get why I'm going to be in the minority on this one. A lot of cool stuff. Oh wait, here we go. Here. Sorry. I'm probably the only one who didn't think much of episode 5, aside from the last line that got me. So then I said, this person's name. Fuck you. That's my response to this person. And again, this person's your prototypical Star Wars fan that hates everything Star Wars. Okay. So then he responded like, I get why I'm going to be in the minority on this one. A lot of cool stuff happened.
He loves being in the minority on that stuff.
A lot of cool stuff happened, but I just didn't see a point. Didn't move the story forward. Just a lot of pointless scenes to pull on nostalgia.
How
it didn't move the story forward. It literally gave us a new Ahsoka.
But it helped her process her trauma.
It moved Ahsoka forward personally.
Also,
oh my goodness.
You had.
I'm gonna send him a text right now. Not really.
We were
actually, maybe I will.
We were gushing on Jacen quite a bit, and how within just this episode we got to see what abilities he has.
Yes. Yep. Clearly he's force sensitive.
We get the first name drop of Kanan. Thank you.
Yes. You're like, Matt's like, about time.
Yeah. Like I seriously.
There we go.
I seriously did that. I was on the couch and I was like, thank you. Thank you. Finally.
Gone but not forgotten in Nat's mind.
There were so many opportunities in the first couple episodes. But again, there's a lot here, and I don't think that they wanted to just turn on all of the faucets and drown new. One thing that I've learned from being on Geek Dad Life is that a lot of the people that chime in the comments that hadn't seen some of these the Clone Wars or Rebels, and they were connecting with Hera and they were connecting with these characters, and to that. Thank you for telling this Star Wars geekified, in my own world, because really we can get that way. We can say, oh, they didn't use Ashley Eckstein for the young Ahsoka.
I thought that
great.
She did great. Absolutely great.
I got it. I got it all from that character. And I've already shifted gears. I'm like, this show has its own rules and its own actors. It is different from the cartoons.
Yep.
Like it's it's like oil paint versus acrylic. Sorry.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Okay. Good. That's all I've got is metaphors. And this show has them
art
too.
Metaphors, very specific metaphors.
Very specific. But this show's full of metaphors, and dropping hints all over the place.
Yeah.
I love that we haven't talked about this, but the New Republic ships that showed up, the basically are Star Destroyers that are not Star Destroyers, right?
Yeah. Because aren't they repurposing like the equipment or whatever?
I guess they're kind of like generic home ones, like they're like these little rebel transport cruisers, you know. Anyway, sorry.
Can we just I want to call out the thing that brought my son who loves Rex, right? Rex is his favorite, my oldest son Zach. And so it's like, there's Rex, it's Rex. And then like in the Surge Siege like, he's talked, that's Rex. And then it's just like, and then the Rex stuff was over. It's like, hey, do you think we're actually get some more Rex? That wasn't enough Rex.
So we're gonna get more Rex, right, Daddy?
We're gonna get more Rex, right? Because that wasn't enough. I need more Rex.
Got any more of those Rexes?
You got any more of that Rex back there? Thoughts on Clone Wars Rex in IRL? Colleen, what was your thoughts?
I'm with Zach, not enough. But honestly, like from
I think
a fan point of view,
but yeah.
It was a perfect amount of Rex that would be appropriate in this flashback.
In the context,
so I liked that it was there. I liked that we saw him. It was like a little shout out Easter egg or whatever. I thought it was great, and I think I would have been kind of pissed if we didn't at least get like a Rex in the background.
Sure,
he was there. He was an essential part of her Clone Wars.
Especially Rex and Ahsoka. That's 66. Such a.
I mean, that whole ending to Clone Wars was Rex and it was Ahsoka, and you had to have those two go through a cathartic moment, and they went through it together. What an amazing! We already talked about those episodes. What amazing episodes! So we needed him in a flashback for sure. So I like the live action clones. Yes, like George, I love you, but this hit.
No, I don't. No more. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just saying. Like we said earlier, just seeing it had so much more weight because they were real. And in the Clone Wars in the movie Attack of the Clones or whatever, it's just like it's just a computer generated. I don't care if they're dying or living, whatever. But like even though this was very much in the mist, very sandy, kind of dreamlike, this hit so much harder because they were real. And it was incredible.
Yeah.
We had phase one.
It's easy to assign your own meaning to things when it's animated, but it's tougher to like look at a 14-year-old actress and be like, oh yeah, she was a kid.
Yeah.
Right. Is bad.
It's no, for sure.
But for Padawans, that's what they were thrown into. And you can see why Barriss Offee, like you can see why the Padawan's just like, F this. Like, what are we doing? Like, what is the Jedi doing?
And they were being deceived by the Emperor.
Yeah.
Like the whole time. To have the Jedi do the very thing that would go against their own code, essentially, by killing and I mean, we hear Qui-Gon like in episode 1. He's basically like, I'm not here to fight your war. I can provide assistance, but
But even Qui-Gon, even just as much as the Republic and the Old Republic, the New Republic is doomed by bureaucracy, and arguably the Empire as well was doomed by bureaucracy. Evil bureaucracy. I guess all bureaucracy is evil, but even more so evil on the Empire side.
Yeah, I don't know when bureaucracy is great.
Yeah, the bureaucracy is bad no matter what, but especially the Empire. But anyway,
we're just teasing.
But it's just like where Qui-Gon's like, screw you guys. We're gonna like be true to the Force over here. But
this show, speaking of our kids and their reactions, because let's face it, Star Wars is also for kids. It's also for that next generation. This show hit on so many levels for my daughter. She's been a fan of Ahsoka, and she was like, she was even saying like, I mean, the Mandalorian's okay, and Book of Boba Fett had him in his robe too many times in a bathtub. Like she was kind of like, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's okay, but this show, it's got the fantasy, and she loves the fantasy aspect of sci-fi. And it was delivering on that aspect to her. 100%. And so very, very cool that just overall the show.
Chef's kiss. I thought it was incredible.
Shadow Warrior, does that connect to Shadow of the Apprentice? Huh?
That's the one, like the title I didn't really, but I guess she's the warrior. Is she the warrior?
Shadow Warrior? I thought it was Anakin was the Shadow Warrior.
Sure.
I thought it was kind of like a shadow boxer, sort of like, you know what I mean? Though, like she was fighting against something that was in her own mind in a way.
I like
where she was dodging. She was shadow boxing, but it was with Anakin and really what was in her mind, the stuff that she was dealing with.
In this, Ahsoka is Peter Pan and Anakin is his Shadow.
I'm sorry. Shadow Warrior is a Kurosawa reference.
Okay. Look at the Watcher. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess. Can we get a quick synopsis of that? I'm gonna look Shadow.
Fighting shadows of her past. I like that. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know.
Warrior.
I still like my shadow boxing.
The only thing I don't like about that, though, is, to me, I don't want Anakin just be a figment of her imagination, because Anakin is a Force ghost, right? He lives in the Force because he's there in Return of the Jedi. It's like, hey, I know I killed you, but I'm still here. I'm still good.
I mean, that is the one thing that gives credence to the idea that this is the brother. The red eyes, dead giveaway. And then that aspect,
or just taking the role of the one, like if he's the father, whatever he is.
Mr. Michael says in the chat, fighting shadows of her past.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. But
that's
to me,
kind of how
that's kind of how you thought it. Shadows of your past.
I love the idea of Anakin being this singular force within the Force, and being there. I think
I mean, his midi-chlorians were off the charts, so he can do anything.
Exactly. Again, it happened. Like, it's real. This is happening World Between Worlds.
Jacen heard the sabers, though. I like that. Mutagen ooze. Yes. Yeah. So Jacen, it was happening.
Yeah, Jacen knew it happened. Yeah.
It's not complete figment then.
No.
In that way. Because if it was just in her mind, how would Jacen hear it?
Yeah.
It almost validates Ahsoka then when she realizes Jacen heard those. It almost validates for Ahsoka, and she gives him a hug. It's just like, you validated me and what I just went through. That was real.
Yeah.
I feel seen.
Yeah, like seriously, like I loved that moment. It hit on so many levels. I mean, sure, it didn't move the plot forward, because I'm a plot guy, but it was really
moved the plot forward.
Or just making fun of Nick.
I'm just
Oh, sorry.
I was
individual number 5.
Okay, and the transition out of the World Between Worlds was such a cool moment.
Oh, it was cool.
The stars collapsing as water, almost as rain, and the water
beautiful.
Coming up. You kind of knew at that moment, and even though, again, this episode, I hate to gush on it this much. I feel like but I don't think I've felt this way in a long time.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed.
It was agreed. It felt. Yeah,
those moments that I was expecting, like, oh, the water's coming up. Clearly, she's in the water, but it still worked.
I keep getting kicked out.
Because we don't like you. No, I'm kidding, Colleen. The Watcher,
Anakin,
and I think this is where I say he's the father, because I agree. The father is both. He's the light and the dark, right?
Okay.
And the daughter is purely light, and the son is purely dark. So either Kylo Ren's the dark. No, because he went light. Whatever. Sequel series doesn't know what the fuck it's doing, but. Anakin is truly in the middle, where he is both the dark and the light, and that's why he was both at the dark side.
If he is the father, and we're going with the Mortis theory on this, does that mean the son is still around? Right?
Sure.
And we could have this other level, this other figure appear again. So,
or just like he's the chosen one. So like he is. Anakin has, whenever he killed the Emperor and became one with the Force, like he is in his final form, which where they were mistaken in bringing balance in the Force isn't, we're going to be, the Jedi are great, everything's fine. It's like, no, we're wiping the slate clean and starting over kind of thing. Which is bad or better, I don't know. All right, let's close things out. Colleen has put together screen memes.
Yes. Woohoo!
Look, I did this while I was doing a podcast and then starting this show. So
you're a multi-talented podcaster. This is not your first rodeo.
So you can play along at home. I'll put a link to the chat. Put a link in the chat if you want to watch these.
I also hate making artwork, but whatever.
Well, it looks good. I like the one that you chose here for.
She's okay at it. I don't. We Colleen and I fight all the time.
All the time. He's like, you didn't do this. Make it bigger. And I'm like
center a line, left a line.
I would say that
like,
you guys
no,
should have
I'm good. I'm done. You can fix it if you want.
But anyway, okay.
I would say that you guys should be on a sitcom, but you guys already podcast, and that's pretty much.
Yeah, I'm around her enough. I don't need to be in a show with her. Okay.
Yeah, I just.
Oh boy.
You really start with the.
Yeah, did Kayla make this one? This one. Let's see. Spoilers without context. Okay, I get it because we definitely got some peach action on old
Oh my
Hera.
God, it's all you can see when you look at her.
When she's like walking towards the edge there, and Hu Yang is
Just
like, oh.
everything. The badonk is just there.
Yeah.
Baby got back.
And that's the same girl that plays.
It is the same girl. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, more on that later.
And Gandalf the White, of course, we mentioned that. And we got Finding Nemo, which is a cool little reference to the fact that they're trying to find Ezra, right? So,
it's when they go in the mouth at the end.
That's what Matt's.
Yeah,
you gotta let Matt explore these. This is the whole. He's gotta.
Dory. Okay, I'll mute myself. Sorry.
Okay, Dory is like Thrawn, because she's blue. Not as smart as Thrawn, I'll give you that. And yeah. Anyway,
Filoni is a peachy type of guy.
Apparently.
Let's see, and we ate Dave Filoni, Ahsoka episode 5. Nice, I like that.
I love that picture. That's so great.
And also, that looks really good.
It does. I think the whale ate all of that stuff.
Yep, Dave Filoni feeds us Star Wars fans watching Ahsoka episode 5. Yep. Yep.
Can you believe it? That was definitely my face when they mentioned.
Did you tell them, Jay, we watched it twice in a row?
Yes. Well, I said I've seen it 3 times now, but I watched it 2 times in a row. We watched it. Let the boys stay up late. We watched it as a family.
And that was a mistake.
It was a mistake, but whatever. I don't regret it. No regrets. And then
I had to deal with them this morning. Jay took like a 30-minute shower because I'm sure all you could hear from the bathroom was the cranky children being cranky.
This is an ongoing thing on Owen and Bruce, and Ralph gives me crap about it.
Yeah.
I don't let my kids stay up to watch it, but let me tell you, my daughter, who is a scaredy cat when it comes to things, she would be up like for a whole other hour if she watched this. And so I have.
I had 2 very, very cranky children this morning. They were.
But you know what,
it
though?
was meltdown mode
because it was
when they woke up until I dropped them off at school.
You're the cool dad. She's an even cooler mom for dealing with the kids.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. All right, let's move
on.
They
even thought after they got out of the car, in which,
that's
whatever, it doesn't matter. But
doesn't. Let's move on. For the animated snobs out there, we're rolling our eyes at you. What is this place? It looks like the world between worlds.
Okay, I don't watch cartoons. That is, love it. Perfect. Perfection. Show me the real Ahsoka. I need the real Ahsoka. Did Ralph make this one?
No, but I wish Ralph was here. I know he's busy promoting his movie, but
they're all from Reddit. That's all I had time to scour.
Oh, I'm glad you found him.
When she gets real, watching a 14-year-old girl being a soldier in an animated series, and
not bad.
Watching a 14-year-old girl being a soldier in live action.
What?
But it's true. Now it's true.
For sure. Hits a lot harder. There are certain things that just don't translate very well when you jump from cartoon to action. And then there are things that hit even harder.
Yeah.
And this episode proves it.
Yep. Good afternoon.
Thank you for getting that.
As the Force Ghost of Christmas Past.
And Hayden Christensen. That is so good. I hope we get more Hayden Christensen. If this is all we get of Hayden,
he's going to do more stuff. Come on. He's loving this.
Yeah. He's finally vindicated.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
This is the Anakin Renaissance, baby. Come on.
Yeah, if he felt good about like himself, he would have quit after Kenobi. But he was just like, "It's my time."
Go.
The age of Christensen.
He is John Levitt-ing the shit out of this. He's like,
yes, acting.
Like, seriously.
This is his moment. You're not going to take this away from me.
He's like, hey, Filoni, yeah, I had some other ideas about how I could appear in Ahsoka season 2. I wrote them on this napkin for you.
All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Okay.
She can turn anyone. Friends, would you ever join the dark side? Only for a good reason. The reason.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Cast it into the fire. Destroy it. No, I guess these are for last week's, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's the SpongeBob one you're all waiting for. Me watching Ahsoka reliving her traumatic experiences during an all-out war, but I get to see my beloved characters in live action. He says sniffs to her.
Cute. It's very cute. That SpongeBob, whoever he is.
Also, bingo. Clone Wars Kenobi is the only one left after all these years.
Oh,
finally I have them all. That's true. We do need Kenobi with the Clone Wars armor as well.
Life's basically on set all day long. Why would just grow?
Yeah, he should be there, right? He's sitting off to the side.
But he wasn't central to Ahsoka's story like that.
Shh.
But if we're gonna go all out, we might as well get like, old man Darth Maul. I know you guys all thought that the Inquisitor dude was gonna be Darth Maul, but
I'm kind of agree with the Watcher now, though. As a fan of the animated Clone Wars, I need a Clone Wars live action series.
No, it's perfect. Well, I mean,
no, it's not.
After a certain season, it's perfect.
Screw it. Give me live action. Let's
go.
All
right, we don't know that
I like it as a cartoon.
He could come back as a witchy haze. That's what I'm saying. So,
which haze out my mind.
That's what I'm saying. It's still out there. That witchy fart is still floating in the forest somewhere. Okay.
Ahsoka the white wears gray, fights someone who starts with the letter B, falls in the water after the fight, awakens with a new view on life, wears white. The gray wears gray, fights someone who starts with the letter B, falls in the water after the fight, awakens with a new view on life, wears white. Boom. There you go. Boom. Roasted.
Oh, nice. I love the picture at the bottom too.
Yeah, I love her new headpiece as well. I'm like, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I liked it too.
All hail this young queen. Ariana Greenblatt has been killing it lately. Avengers, Barbie, Ahsoka.
Yes, that's right.
She's great in Barbie too.
Yeah, she's one of the Bratz kids.
Yep.
Fan theory. Love the Barbie movie. So good.
And there you go. That's it. Screen memes, Colleen, bravo.
Yay, thank you.
Screen memes, Colleen. See?
Next time I'm going to do that while I'm only doing one task at a time.
That's impossible. Colleen needs to have 10 things going on at once.
But I can't concentrate on one thing at a time. Ooh, sorry, just hit the mic.
Oh. Well, you bring it home in the bacon and you fry it up in a pan.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us tonight. A large crowd, and expected for such an amazing episode of Ahsoka. I assume next week will probably be off, as Matt will be talking about Star Wars with his other
I don't know. If one of them hates it, are you really going to want to talk about it with him, or you want to come back and hang out with us?
That's the commitments Matt has made in his life. But we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Maybe we'll come on to that.
Yeah, if it's big enough, maybe Colleen and I will talk about it.
Yeah, well, if it's good enough, we'll drown out the voices of the contrarians out there.
There's a lot to be said. So if they need to be said, I'm going to just tolerate it. As
Matt's like, please, dear God, I suffer through that enough. I don't need you guys on to make it longer. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fine. Everybody can have their opinion. If they didn't like it, they didn't like it.
But
9.5 on IMDb, baby.
Yeah, that don't lie. 9.5. Come on.
I mean, the haters haven't gotten to it yet. So
90% on Rotten Tomatoes is usually like a 7.5 on IMDb. So at 9.5. Come on now.
Honestly, I think it had to those shots. I think like it's hard to hate it with those Darth Vader shots, like the shots. You know what I mean? Though, like
shot.
Pergil space.
There were so many moments that like I got emotional.
Over the water.
I got emotional watching
Jacen using force.
Like, people are gonna be upset they didn't back the ghosts. I'm just gonna say. There is a meme for people that don't buy things when they're on pre-order or whatever, and then they come out and they're really expensive because that's what happens. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "Hey, I'm just looking to see if I can get XYZ thing for a reasonable price. It's for my kid." Get out of here! You had your chance. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
If you want to do shots, do them. I got a little bit of whiskey left here. I'm gonna take a little sip.
Good seeing you, Colleen. See you in another.
Good to see you too, Matt. I hope that I see you soon because I did miss your face.
Thanks.
I miss Matt's face too. I haven't seen him in over a year.
Thanks, guys.
I know it's been such a long time.
I know. I wasn't able to make it to the meetup that this past year, so
I don't want to talk about it. It upsets me.
Matt
left me to all the other people that I don't want to talk to.
Oh, come on, you cranky old man.
All right.
I am a cranky old man. I'm sorry, Andy Stutz. I'm sorry. Well, hopefully, maybe you'll be. I was unemployed the last year myself as well, so don't stress it. Hopefully, back on the employment line soon. Okay, Trauma Queen. That's me. Everybody, take care. And until next time.
Thanks.
I was going to go back.
Bye. Thanks for letting me play.
This was a great show. It was 1 in 20 trillion.
Whoa! Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.